Santiago Rosenzweig from Argentina is P7. Axel Quiroz from Panama is 8th. Ethan Dean is first. Luis Enrique Catano is second. Vicente da Silva is P3. Luis Enrique Catano in Andretti hairpin is P2. Vicente da Silva in Andretti hairpin is P3. Luis Enrique Catano is second. Vicente da Silva in turn 3 is third. Luis Enrique Catano in turn 4 is second. Vicente da Silva is third. Luis Enrique Catano in turn 5 is second. Vicente da Silva in turn 5 is third. Luis Enrique Catano is second. Vicente da Silva in turn 6 is third. Luis Enrique Catano in Rahal straight is P2. Vicente da Silva in the corkscrew is P3. Luis Enrique Catano is P2. Vicente da Silva in rainy curve is P3. Luis Enrique Catano in turn 10 is P2. Vicente da Silva is third. Luis Enrique Catano in turn 11 is second. Vicente da Silva is P3. Luis Enrique Catano is P2. Vicente da Silva is P3, 0.3 behind Luis Enrique Catano. Alex Nelson from United States in Andretti hairpin is 4th, 0.3 behind Vicente da Silva. Vicente da Silva in turn 3 is P3, 0.3 ahead of Alex Nelson. Russ Nelson entering the pits is 23rd. Alex Nelson is 4th. Luis Enrique Catano in turn 5 is second, 0.5 behind Ethan Dean. Alex Nelson in turn 5 is 4th, 0.7 behind Vicente da Silva. Russ Nelson exiting pits. Luis Enrique Catano is P2. Alex Nelson in Rahal straight is 4th. Luis Enrique Catano in the corkscrew is second, 0.7 behind Ethan Dean. Alex Nelson in rainy curve is 4th, 0.5 behind Vicente da Silva. Fernando V. Silva from Portugal in the corkscrew is 13th, 0.6 behind Axel Quiroz. Alex Nelson in turn 11 is P4, 0.3 behind Vicente da Silva. Axel Quiroz in turn 10 is P12, 0.7 ahead of Fernando V. Silva. Luis Enrique Catano is second, 0.7 behind Ethan Dean. Vicente da Silva in Andretti hairpin on lap 3 is 4th, 0.2 behind Alex Nelson. Bernardo Gil entering the pits is P22. Axel Quiroz is P12. Vicente da Silva in turn 4 on lap 3 is 4th, 0.4 behind Alex Nelson. Gordon Jacobson entering the pits is first. Bernardo Gil exiting pits. Vicente da Silva is now P5. Luis Enrique Catano is third. Vicente da Silva in turn 6 on lap 3 is P5, 0.4 behind Alex Nelson. Gordon Jacobson exiting pits. Axel Quiroz is P13. Vicente da Silva in the corkscrew is 4th, 0.6 behind Alex Nelson. Meg Barnick in the corkscrew is P8, 0.3 behind Luis Enrique Catano. Axel Quiroz from Panama in the corkscrew is P13, 0.6 behind Ricky Vaughn. Santiago Rosenzweig is 6th. Nick Barnick in turn 11 is P8, 0.2 behind Luis Enrique Catano. Santiago Rosenzweig is P6, 0.3 behind Camilo Arias. Nick Barnick is P8, 0.6 behind Luis Enrique Catano. Vicente da Silva on lap 4 is P4, 0.6 behind Alex Nelson. Santiago Rosenzweig in turn 3 is P6, 0.2 behind Camilo Arias. Vicente da Silva is P4, 0.6 behind Alex Nelson. Santiago Rosenzweig from Argentina is P6, 0.3 behind Camilo Arias. Vicente da Silva is P4, 0.7 behind Alex Nelson. Santiago Rosenzweig is P6, 0.4 behind Camilo Arias. Vicente da Silva in the corkscrew is 4th, 0.5 behind Alex Nelson. Santiago Rosenzweig in the corkscrew is P6, 0.4 behind Camilo Arias. Vicente da Silva is 4th, 0.3 behind Alex Nelson. Camilo Arias from Panama is 6th, 0.1 behind Santiago Rosenzweig. Vicente da Silva in turn 11 is P4, 0.3 behind Alex Nelson. Camilo Arias on lap 4 is 6th, 0.2 behind Santiago Rosenzweig. Vicente da Silva in Andretti hairpin is 4th, 0.3 behind Alex Nelson. Camilo Arias in Andretti hairpin is 6th, 0.1 behind Santiago Rosenzweig. Camilo Arias passed Santiago Rosenzweig for 5th. Vicente da Silva is P4. Santiago Rosenzweig is P6. Vicente da Silva is P4, 0.3 behind Alex Nelson. Luis Enrique Catano is 7th, 0.1 behind Santiago Rosenzweig. Luis Enrique Catano passed Santiago Rosenzweig for 6th. Vicente da Silva is P4. Santiago Rosenzweig is P7. James Leader from United States on lap 5 is P13, 0.2 behind Ricky Bobby. Vicente da Silva in Rainy Curve is 4th, 0.6 behind Alex Nelson. Santiago Rosenzweig in Rainy Curve is 7th, 0.5 behind Luis Enrique Catano. Vicente da Silva in turn 11 is P4, 0.6 behind Alex Nelson. Santiago Rosenzweig in turn 11 is 7th, 0.3 behind Luis Enrique Catano. Vicente da Silva is 4th, 0.4 behind Alex Nelson. Santiago Rosenzweig is P7, 0.5 behind Luis Enrique Catano. Vicente da Silva in turn 3 on lap 6 is 4th, 0.5 behind Alex Nelson. Santiago Rosenzweig in turn 3 is P7, 0.7 behind Luis Enrique Catano. Vicente da Silva on lap 6 is P4, 0.4 behind Alex Nelson. Pablo Romati is 9th, 0.4 behind Nick Barnick. Vicente da Silva in turn 6 is P4, 0.5 behind Alex Nelson. Nick Barnick is P9 battling Pablo Romati. Vicente da Silva in the corkscrew is P4, 0.5 behind Alex Nelson. Ricky Bong in turn 6 is 13, 0.5 ahead of Wilkie Black. Vicente da Silva in turn 10 is 4th. Ricky Bong in the corkscrew is P13, 0.6 ahead of Wilkie Black. Vicente da Silva in turn 11 is 4th, 0.6 behind Alex Nelson. Axel Quiroz in turn 10 is P11. Vicente da Silva is P4, 0.1 behind Alex Nelson. Luis Enrique Gaetano is 6, 0.6 behind Camilo Arias. Vicente da Silva is 4th, 0.2 behind Alex Nelson. Luis Enrique Gaetano from Brazil is P6, 0.3 behind Camilo Arias. Gordon Jacobson in turn 5 is P2, 0.4 behind Ethan Dean. Ethan Dean was 112.2 faster last lap. Vicente da Silva in turn 5 is P4, 0.6 behind Alex Nelson. Luis Enrique Gaetano in turn 5 is 6, 0.1 behind Camilo Arias. Vicente da Silva in Rahal Straight is 4th, 0.5 behind Alex Nelson. Don Debian from Canada in turn 6 is P10, 0.4 behind Nick Barnett. Vicente da Silva in Rainy Curve is P4. Don Debian in the corkscrew is 10, 0.3 ahead of Axel Quiroz. Vicente da Silva in turn 11 is P4, 0.4 behind Alex Nelson. Axel Quiroz is P11, 0.4 behind Don Debian. Vicente da Silva is P3, 0.4 behind Alex Nelson. Axel Quiroz in turn 11 on lap 7 is 11, 0.7 behind Don Debian. Vicente da Silva is P3, 0.6 behind Alex Nelson. Axel Quiroz is 11, 0.3 behind Don Debian. Vicente da Silva in turn 4 on lap 8 is P3, 0.2 behind Alex Nelson. Axel Quiroz in turn 3 is 11. Vicente da Silva in turn 5 is P3, 0.5 behind Alex Nelson. Luis Enrique Gaetano in turn 5 is P6. Vicente da Silva in Rahal Straight is P3, 0.3 behind Alex Nelson. Camilo Arias in turn 6 is 7, 0.6 behind Luis Enrique Gaetano. Vicente da Silva in Rainy Curve is 3rd, 0.3 behind Alex Nelson. Wilkie Black from United States in Rahal Straight is 14. Vicente da Silva is P3, 0.5 behind Alex Nelson. Luis Enrique Gaetano in turn 10 is 6, 0.6 behind Santiago Rosenzweig. Vicente da Silva is 3rd, 0.5 behind Alex Nelson. Axel Quiroz in turn 11 is 11, 0.5 behind Don Debian. Luis Enrique Gaetano from Brazil is 6, 0.7 behind Santiago Rosenzweig. Axel Quiroz from Panama is P11, 0.4 behind Don Debian. Luis Enrique Gaetano in turn 3 is 6, 0.7 behind Santiago Rosenzweig. Vicente da Silva in turn 5 is 3rd, 0.6 behind Alex Nelson. Gordon Jacobson is P6, 0.3 behind Luis Enrique Gaetano. Pablo Rome in turn 5 is 8, 0.5 behind Gordon Jacobson. Vicente da Silva in Rahal Straight is P3. Luis Enrique Gaetano in Rahal Straight is P5, 0.6 behind Santiago Rosenzweig. Gordon Jacobson in Rahal Straight is P9, 0.5 behind Nick Barnett. Juan Reynoso from Uruguay in Rahal Straight is 14, 0.3 ahead of Wilkie Black. Luis Enrique Gaetano in turn 10 is 5th, 0.5 behind Santiago Rosenzweig. Gordon Jacobson in turn 10 is P10, 0.5 behind Axel Quiroz. Luis Enrique Catano is P5. Emiliano Videla is P16. Luis Enrique Catano is P5, 0.3 behind Santiago Rosenzweig. Pablo Romati and Andretti hairpin on lap 10 is 7, 0.7 behind Camilo Arias. Santiago Rosenzweig in turn 3 is P5, 0.3 behind Luis Enrique Catano. Pablo Romati in turn 4 on lap 10 is P7, 0.5 behind Camilo Arias. Santiago Rosenzweig on lap 10 is P5, 0.6 behind Luis Enrique Catano. Pablo Romati in turn 5 is P7. Alex Nelson in Rahal Straight is third, 0.7 behind Vicente da Silva. Santiago Rosenzweig in Rahal Straight is fifth, 0.6 behind Luis Enrique Catano. Alex Nelson from United States is P3, 0.5 behind Vicente da Silva. Santiago Rosenzweig in Rainy Curve is P5, 0.7 behind Luis Enrique Catano. Alex Nelson on lap 10 is third, 0.4 behind Vicente da Silva. Camilo Arias in turn 11 is P7, 0.4 behind Pablo Romati. Alex Nelson in Andretti hairpin is third, 0.4 behind Vicente da Silva. Santiago Rosenzweig is fifth, 0.6 behind Luis Enrique Catano. Alex Nelson is P3, 0.2 behind Vicente da Silva. Juan Reynoso is P12, 0.7 behind Don Debian. Alex Nelson in turn 5 is P3, 0.2 behind Vicente da Silva. Juan Reynoso is P12, 0.7 behind Don Debian. Alex Nelson in Rahal Straight is P3, 0.2 behind Vicente da Silva. Juan Reynoso in turn 5 is 12, 0.3 behind Don Debian. Alex Nelson in Rainy Curve is third, 0.3 behind Vicente da Silva. Juan Reynoso from Uruguay in turn 6 is P12, 0.4 behind Don Debian. Alex Nelson in turn 11 is third, 0.3 behind Vicente da Silva. Nick Barnick in turn 10 is 8, 0.5 behind Camilo Arias. Alex Nelson on lap 12 is third, 0.2 behind Vicente da Silva. Axel Quiroz in turn 11 is P9, 0.7 behind Camilo Arias. Axel Quiroz passed Camilo Arias for P8. Alex Nelson is third. Vicente da Silva in turn 4 is third, battling Alex Nelson. Silva on lap 12 is 18, 0.7 behind Gordon Jacobson. Alex Nelson in Rahal Straight is P3, 0.5 behind Vicente da Silva. Gordon Jacobson in turn 3 is P18, 0.6 behind Fernando E. Silva. Alex Nelson from United States in Rainy Curve is third, 0.3 behind Vicente da Silva. Axel Quiroz is P8, 0.7 behind Nick Barnick. Vicente da Silva in Andretti hairpin is third. Alex Nelson is P3, 0.1 behind Vicente da Silva. Vicente da Silva in turn 3 is third, 0.1 behind Alex Nelson. Quiroz is P8, 0.7 behind Nick Barnett. Vicente da Silva in Rahal Straight is third, 0.1 behind Alex Nelson. Just finished the race. Ethan Dean finished first. Bernardo Gil finished 21st. Alex Nelson finished second. Vicente da Silva finished P3. Luis Enrique Catano finished fourth. Santiago Rosenzweig finished fifth. Pablo Romati finished P6. Nick Barnick finished 7th. Axel Quiroz finished 8th. Camilo Arias finished P9. James Leader finished P10. Juan Rieniso finished 11th. Don Debian finished 12th. Wilkie Black finished 13th. Ricky Vaughn finished 14th. Emiliano Videla finished P15. John Galambos finished 16th. Fernando B. Silva finished 17th. Gordon Jacobson finished P18. Kit Riesick finished 19th. Gene Dalmas finished P20.